Hi there, I'm Becky Hammond and welcome to Isogo TV. Wherever you are on your strengths journey, I want to help you take your greatest strengths and apply them to your everyday work and your everyday life for more success, more energy, and less frustration all the way around. Has anyone ever told you, maybe when you were younger or even more recently, that you can be anything you want to be? I know that I heard that. And I think it comes from the best, most well-meaning place. And oftentimes it's even from people that are closest to us because they really want us to achieve and not to limit ourselves. But what I have realized over the last couple of years is that this is not actually entirely true, nor is it really entirely hopeful. So today, I'm going to kind of address that head on in episode 33, why you cannot actually be anything you want to be. So let's get a little uncomfortable. Let's address this concept that we've grown up believing, and let's dive in today. At the beginning of March, I participated with a bunch of other small business owners in a pretty fantastic conference in Phoenix. And there I heard for the first time, much to his chagrin, from an entrepreneur influencer named Gary Vaynerchuk. And though he was quite bold, quite crass, very much different than my style, I found myself agreeing with him quite a bit. He was fantastically compelling. And then, a couple weeks later, an interview with him showed up in one of the podcasts that I follow. And it particularly caught my attention because it was labeled something like why you should follow your strengths into your job or something like that. And as they started out the interview, one of the questions that they talked through was about some kind of negative flack that he had gotten for saying that entrepreneurialism can't be learned. And his point was that you could spend thousands of dollars on every ebook and course about entrepreneurialism, but if you don't have that natural hardwiring talent, you are not going to be successful, or at least not successful in his eyes of being this kind of multi-billion dollar media mogul. And his second point, though, which is much more inspiring, is that really you have to get clear about who you are and follow that. And so the interviewer asked him, okay, well, who are you? What are your talents and strengths? And he said, absolutely sales. It's been something that he's done since he was a child and became extremely successful every weekend selling baseball cards in the mall, even as a pre-teenager. He's been able to craft a story to sell. And I would say he also has a healthy dose of confidence that is just natural wiring to him. If I had to kind of assign our strengths finder language to what it seems like he might bring, I would probably say something like communication, competition, activator, self-assurance, and achiever. Some combination like that, highly influential. So a couple directions I want to take this here with you today, which is, one is kind of answering that question of, is there a certain passion that my strengths must lead me towards, or a certain set of strengths that I have to have in order to pursue a certain passion? And then secondly is, can I actually do anything I want to do if I just try hard enough? So first, kind of using this example from Gary V, is his set of strengths absolutely required in order to be a successful entrepreneur? And the answer is no, absolutely not. And there's a great case in point that who I've been following quite a bit as well, Michael Hyatt, who is a highly successful entrepreneur, a highly successful online influencer, and he very much believes in leading from and working from strength and using even StrengthsFinder as part of a team. And his strengths are achiever, intellection, strategic, relator. He is going to approach life in a much different way than Gary V. But does that mean that because he doesn't have communication in his top 5, that he can't communicate? No. It just means that he's going to do it in a drastically different way. And does it mean that he can't be a successful entrepreneur? Obviously not, because he is. But he's going to do it in a way that's consistent with his own strengths, not trying to channel Gary Vee's strengths in some strange way. So then secondly, we got to get to this part that just gives me a little bit of dissonance, even to think about or talk about, is to challenge the idea that we can be anything we want to be. You know, we've heard it all growing up. I certainly did. Not just in my family, but from our culture around me. If you try hard enough, you can be anything you want to be. And I just think this is not entirely accurate. You know, but I want to say that. I want to say that to my kids. But even in my 3-year-old, I can already tell there are certain things that he is probably not wired to do. You know, he's probably not going to be the world's next multi-sensational athlete. That's just not in his wiring. And I would say that the same was probably true of me as a kid. Like, I did sports and I was athletic and I excelled, but I probably, without that kind of raw talent, wasn't going to be the next, you know, Becky Hammond, even though I'm Becky Hammond. I know that's kind of strange. Because I didn't have that same talent that she has, that made her now the first female coach in the NBA. That wouldn't be pursuing a path that followed my talents. You know, the concept is absolutely inspirational. And I think that's where the dissonance comes, is that it is inspirational and has led people to be their best, to say you can be anything you want to be if you try hard enough. You know, I think of Ben Carson, the gifted neurosurgeon, that if his mom had not pushed him to excel in areas that he thought he was incapable of when he was a young child and a teenager, then he might not be who he is today. And we might not have the advances in neurosurgery that we have today. So it absolutely is inspirational. But what I think can be equally as inspirational, and perhaps even more, is that it's not that you can be anything that you want to be, but you can be more of who you are made to be. One of my strengths mentors who passed away last year said, you cannot be anything you want to be, but you can be a whole lot more of who you already are. And that's where that strengths perspective takes us. It says, let's identify those things that already come naturally to us and work in those areas to excel, to become anything that we are made to be, become the thing that we're made to be. It's not just general, generic, anything, pick your path. This is made for you and the way that you are wired. And you know, that really is what Ben Carson's mom did. She pushed him to excel in ways that already made sense to him, that channeled kind of that competition and that strategically thinking mind that resulted in a temper when it was raw and immature, to this brilliant, authority challenging, norm challenging surgeon that absolutely made impact in the world because his mom pushed him and said, you can be more of who you already are. And that's what we can do as managers, leaders, parents, is help people identify their strengths, and for ourselves as well, help us be crystal clear on the talents that we bring to the table, that we bring to our teams and our relationships and our lives and our roles, so that we can zero in on them and not become anything, but we can absolutely become exactly what we were made to be. So let's use this. And it really starts with a question. How do you become more of who you already are? How can you pull out that uniqueness and that greatness about you to really hone it and refine it and follow that to your success? And it starts with identifying who you are designed to be, who you're created to be. That uniqueness, that unique wiring that unique talent that's already in you that you need to recognize, explore, and develop. So today's Use This starts with that, identifying what are those strengths of yours. And you can use my favorite tool, the Strengths Finder, if you want a shortcut to getting there. But sit with them, sit with your strengths to say, what are the things that are most true about the way that I'm naturally wired? And then take it to the next level of deeper reflection on them. What is it about those individual strengths that helps me to provide value to other people? What are the things that I need for those strengths to really thrive? And as you explore, you'll start to discover how you can then sharpen those things to become more of who you already are, to find that greatness that's already wired inside of you. You know, there's a tool that I created that I've been getting a lot of good feedback on, and so I wanted to make sure that I mentioned it to you here too, called Strength Startup. It's a 6-week email series. It gives you some real clarity around your top 5 strengths, customized strictly to you. So if you're interested in that at all, you can head over to isogostrong.com associated with this episode, and you'll find access to that resource there, and you can explore more about it. But whatever you decide to do, I hope that you do explore and discover who you are so that you can become more of that. And in the meantime, I would love to connect with you about that and really just to help you. So if there's any questions that you have or comments or stories, I would love to hear them and help you out if I can lend any sort of hand. So you can connect with me over at isogostrong.com and the little handy contact form, or at Twitter at isogostrong, or Facebook at isogostrong, and I'll get right back to you. And if Isogo TV has been something that has been helpful to you, I would love for you to let other people know about it too. Rate, review, and share. So rate and review over at iTunes, and share, either virtually in your virtual circles or literally with the person who is sitting next to you, to help them also start to get to the point where they can apply their greatest strengths, know what they are first, and then apply them to their everyday work and their everyday lives for more success, more energy, less frustration all the way around. So thank you for joining me here today, and I look forward to having you come along next week on Isogo TV.